Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Late Night Owl podcast. Unfortunately, I have no idea where one set maybe perhaps just has that mic issue. Maybe trying to fix it. No idea. So it's just gonna be a duo for a while, I guess. Meet the double Tims. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm here.
yeah. So, how's your Mother's Day? Did you celebrate? Give your mama some flowers.
Yeah, we got the usual chocolate.
Oh shit, nice. You know
Uh,
me, I give her flowers even if it's not Mother's Day. So I kind of didn't get her like Mother's Day flowers or whatever. Cause you gotta still love your mom regardless of the day. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Don't let just one day be a day that you celebrate something. You know. That's just my the way I do things. So
it's true. You gotta celebrate your loved ones.
yeah, definitely. All right, so let's dive straight to it. We're brainstorming animated live actions and actors or actresses that did well or didn't. Um, Personally, I don't have the names of it, but I do have some of the anime live adaptations. Uh, I'm just gonna start off with the most recent live action, which is Battle Angel Alita. That's live action, right? Or unless it's like something
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Yeah. I think in terms of how to start off the live action, I think they did really well. Just because they just it's pretty much the anime. It's exactly the anime, like how the anime went, and then they just changed it straight to the live action. And I think the only reason why I'm saying this is because I saw Detective Pikachu today, and then it was absolute garbage. You can't like, okay, if it's a movie that you go and see with your family, which is good. It'll be a good family movie. But in terms of people who's going there as like a Pokemon fan, well, obviously I'm not a Pokemon fan, but if you're trying to go for just for like the fan stuff, it's not worth watching, I would say. Although as a critic, I would say in detail the concept of how Pokemon and or the Pokemon will live in the what's it called, like the real world, that concept was pretty good, because they're always like walking around with people and stuff like that. And yeah, well, some of the Pokemon were like too OP, but yeah, I mean, I like the concept. It was a really nice concept, but in terms of just the movie in whole, it wasn't great. So yeah, unless you have kids, I really don't recommend that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, sorry.
But I
Anyways,
mean,
yeah,
that's really your thing, right? You're not really into anything like childish.
yeah. But I do have to admit that I kind of didn't have any expectations when I was going into it. When I heard that it was Ryan Reynolds that was acting, it was more like having Deadpool. Like his character as Deadpool was like too strong, so it kind of overlapped on Pikachu. So I'm just like, I don't know. I just
Oh,
couldn't do
so
it.
you didn't like him as Pikachu.
Yeah, yeah, and then the whole storyline, what I thought as like the very first Pokemon movie, that they should cover the. Do you have you ever seen the very first Pokemon movie where Ash turns into stone? You know?
Yeah, Pokemon 2000, I think.
Yeah, yeah. They should have done that, is what I'm thinking. As like the very first one, and then from there they'll take on the next generation and the next generation. I felt like for this one they wanted to showcase all of the new Pokemon, especially Greninja. Spoiler. Well, actually, it's not really a spoiler, but it's yeah. They just wanted to focus more on the different, or I mean, certain types of Pokemon, I guess. So yeah, Greninja's in there, and yeah, all those Pokemons that I haven't seen before, but yeah,
You were talking about how like what it would be like if like Pokemon were to like walk about in public with you. Like, do you think it like actually tackled the issue of
yeah,
like
yeah.
how
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that in terms of having a Pokemon with you, it would be, or like how a wild Pokemon would be in the city. I thought they actually pretty clarified that part. So yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I think the movie was great. You know.
that's cool. Definitely like my favorite part of Pokemon is like when they allow you to use like HMs and like having a Pokemon allows you to have like actual transport and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't really utilize that part. It was more just like a movie about Pikachu and his partner.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, so that's just where I'm gonna leave it off with. But yeah, going back to the Battle Angel Alita, yeah, I really prefer it to be like how it is, how the anime was for the very first live action, which I'm pretty sure a lot of the Japanese things does, but there are the exceptions, and yeah, I think the actor and actress, especially the actor for him, he's like a really famous guy. I forgot his name. Well, I didn't search up the name, but the doctor was spot on. Like, if you see the anime and then the live action, they he fits the role of that doctor. The only problem is the personality wasn't fit. Yeah. Have you seen the anime adaptation, or not the adaptation? Yeah, just the animation for it.
I've seen the original, but I did not watch the adaptation.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so in the original anime, you notice that the doctor was a little bit. Well, the doctor is kind of like, uh, I don't know the right words for it, but he's really calm and nice, and then but kind of aggressive, in terms of going to hunt. And no, actually, I wouldn't even say aggressive. He was like really passive, right?
I would say that he's a professional and he definitely like knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and in terms of like dealing with every situation as like a doctor, he's doing it as a professional. And then when he's a hunter, he's doing it as a professional, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just, when the live action one came out, he was more aggressive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to see it in order to know it. But yeah, he was really aggressive, and then I felt like the movie was great, but some of the characters' personalities could have been a lot better. Because I realized that in Japan, they emphasize more on the connection between the voice actors or actress and the character. Like
Yeah,
they'll do so many cuts because like the emotion, the emotion may or may not be there.
yeah.
Yeah, a really good one is on YouTube. You could check um on Attack on Titans. The voice actor and then the director is working on Levy's like sentence or something, and he's like, no, 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 you got to do it again. You got to do it again. It's like you have to be more cruel acting and kind of like a leader, and it's just like you need to have. I don't know. It's just like I admire it even if it's Attack on Titans,
Mm.
but it's hard. I think it's harder for the live action to be able to do that, compared to animation.
Yeah.
Because they do have a budget. Well, actually, anime does have a budget as well. So
I mean, usually the movie will have a higher budget just because, like, you don't make live actions of things that don't sell, right?
right, yeah. But I mean, I think the money goes more towards the actors or the actress instead of the production. So in terms of overall or the general, um, the whole budget, it's pretty much the same. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, animation is already pretty expensive, so
Yeah, yeah. So maybe or may not, or maybe not. There's people in terms of live action just might want me to cover Ghost in the Shell as well. There's a lot of people out now saying, the actress Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell wasn't the right one. Like there could have been a Japanese actress instead. And there were potential candidates for it, yeah, but it's hard. I don't know. For me, it's hard to be able to pick the right actress for that type of movie because yeah, the anime is like not really a Japanese setting. It doesn't take in a Japan or what? Well, actually, I don't know if it takes in Japan, but
actually it does.
yeah, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
But like the characters, right? It's not like you can't really tell because they're animated.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they do speak Japanese, but a lot of the times they just for the sake of ease they make it Japanese. I'm not saying like it's not normal for a black guy to speak Japanese. There's a bunch of black guys that speak Japanese in Japan, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like in terms of the characters, uh, maybe Scarlett Johansson wasn't a good candidate for it. Personally, I think if the director, like even they asked the director as an interview saying that was Scarlett Johansson a right pick, and then they're like, you know what, uh, the lead character, it doesn't really matter in terms of like race. They didn't have a preference. They just drew the main character as is to like it was like a void so that you could just have an imagination of what kind of person it was, but all in all it was just an android, so there was no specific race is what they were saying. So I mean,
Yeah.
when I heard that I was just like, oh yeah, well, I guess they're not going for that racist thing. And it was mostly it was mostly white people who was like complaining that it was Scarlett Johansson. So like the Asian people didn't really care, as
Yeah.
always.
I mean, I get why they did it, because like nobody's gonna watch some because this is already kind of like a niche title. Like no, they weren't sure how much they were gonna get at the box office for it.
Mhm.
And you see Scarlett Johansson's name on their cast thing, and yeah, maybe I'll see Scarlett Johansson just for her.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I mean the character is definitely Japanese, but I mean it's not a big deal. Like she's mostly cyborg, and you don't
Yeah.
know what she's supposed to look like really.
Yeah, that movie though is kind of hard to be able to like critic in terms of the actors or actress just because for Ghost in the Shell, the main character was an android, so she was kind of limited to like her personality, you know. So I I can't say that Scarlett's acting was bad because there wasn't any in the anime. It's like she just remained cool, you know, the that for the anime.
Yeah,
So and even if there was like some sort of drama, it was kind of like pretty much brushed off, you know, as her just like being cool, you know. So that's what I saw in the live action as well. I can't say that Scarlett's acting was bad about that
yeah.
because
I
there
mean I think
was
he
yeah
did fine.
yeah. So and I don't know, I have a lot more unless or so anything you want to cover first before I get into more.
Oh, in terms of some of my list.
Yeah.
I would say that Kenshin is a really good live action for me. Just because I thought the action was really good.
Hmm.
I really liked how Kenshin looked as a live actor. I thought Shishio looked a little weird, but he's covered in bandages. Like you don't.
Well, yeah. To be fair, it
Yeah,
wasn't bandages. It was like
for
something else.
someone. But
Yeah.
other than that, if you have Kenshin looks good and the action looks good, that's
Mhm.
all I need.
Yeah. I'm kind of depressed that Sanosuke that they made wasn't on point. You know.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to get an actor who looks like that. He's like a really big dude.
Yeah, he's tall. It was like the total opposite, right? He was like really short and
Yeah,
well, not really chubby, but you know, kind of little above normal.
yeah, I would have to say that it was hard for me to like even recognize him.
Yeah, actually. Well, yeah. Besides the trademark, you know, his I forgot what it was. This symbol on his back or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That was actually on my list too. Yeah, I I think I don't know. In terms of acting, I think that like just Japan. I'm not trying to like you know like have like an ego boost or anything you know towards my own race or anything, but I'm just saying like in terms of acting, I think Japan does a lot, really good job. You know.
yeah. Japan definitely has their own style that they go for
Hmm.
because there's a lot of like different types of acting in Japan where they like, anime acting is like over the top and you like get aggressive with it
Yeah.
and they know how to like be serious in the dramas and like they understand there's like a dichotomy and I
Mm.
think that helps a lot.
Yeah. It's an industry on its own. What and that's what makes it so great. Definitely.
Because I feel like in the West we have basically just try to go for realism and you're doing all right. And I think
Yeah.
that's it, right?
Yeah. Which you can see that's what they did for this Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the big issues with adaptations is that American people don't understand what like over the top acting is like. Like we don't have that.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you seen the I think that one of a good example would be is Death Note. They did the Japanese live action and then they did the American version of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I would say both of them was pretty bad.
yeah,
But
but definitely one was worse than the other.
yeah, yeah, in terms of acting was it was just like something else. Yeah, totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but I felt like the Japanese one actually like kind of attempted to be this like noir thriller kind of thing,
mhm.
and they actually like hit the note pretty okay. Like they're a little off tone, but
Yeah.
the
And
American one I don't know though.
I think well, first thing I want to recognize or I try to look for in live action is how close or similar the characters look to the anime.
Yeah,
Obviously, anime they have big eyes and some uh, inhuman traits, like the
yeah,
the jaw is like sharp and everything. But I mean, besides that, I try to always look for similarity in between that. Just looks on its own, and then once they clear that, I look for the personality, which Japan does really well for personality wise, but they're kind of limited to the actors. So yeah, I kind of give them a slack on that. Which
yeah. We definitely have way more of a variety in our actors.
yeah, yeah, which I should be giving uh foreign actors more slack as well since I do it to Japanese ones. But I think when you have a variety, it's like, quantity versus quality. You're going to have one or the other. But when you have so much quantity, there should be, you know, at least a handful that has that quality amongst them.
Right.
So yeah, I'm hoping that in further live actions they actually pick carefully. You know, like there's some live actions here in America that they do, and they just sign up a really popular or famous actress or actor just so that people would go to the movies to check them out. Not for the movie, and that
Yeah.
just happens to be done a lot. Like I feel like I'm like sorry bringing the Detective Pikachu so much, but it's just Ryan Reynolds is in it as he's done Deadpool, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who go just to watch him be in the movie. So
Definitely. If I were to watch that movie, I would watch it just for him.
well, see, there you go. Yeah, so in terms of that type of stuff, I guess Japan has it way better because they're not picky on which actor or actress has that versus foreign countries where they're like, oh no, let's just put like a really popular dude or chick to act, you know?
I actually find that it's more of the opposite. That
Oh yeah?
basically when somebody gets like really big,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that happens more for like voice acting because it's kind of voice actors are kind of more disposable than like actual actors. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
hard to take someone's likeness. But like as soon as they like get bigger, like people want to do less with that person because they're getting more expensive.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. But I mean, for the actress or actors in Japan, even if they may be more expensive, they fit the character. Like you could see like, well, you can't really see anyone else do the voice for Naruto, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't go any higher or lower pitch tone. It's just, it fits it fits the character. So what I was trying to say is, they actually carefully pick, even if the budget may be a little bigger, and it's not like, oh, this actress is doing Naruto's voice, so I'm gonna watch the anime just because the actress does it. Well, it might not be the case, but that's just how I feel when in terms of um, Japan versus, you know yeah. But then there are uh, live actions that Japan kind of fucks up just because of the CGI that they do. They like Attack on Titans or Bleach live actions. I feel like, or Tokyo, even Tokyo Ghoul, Tokyo Ghoul. I feel like they kind of, I don't know what it is. It's totally different from like America. Like here in America, when they did Battle Angel Alita, it's more CGI based versus, or the CGI was way better in terms of, yeah, CGI. Like if you see just a random CGI in Japan, you would think that they would have like better technology and everything, so it'll look better. But to me, it looked like more fake, more plastic looking. I don't know. I guess it's like their way of trying to make it as real as possible, and then it just backfire. It backfires and looks faker.
I definitely kind of see what you're talking about,
Hmm.
where America kind of seems to be like more proud of their CGI. Like they'll just like flat out put it up there, and that'll be like the centerpiece for the scene.
Yeah, yeah,
Where they kind of don't do that in Japan. They just kind of they want it to be more part of the background. They don't want they're kind of like ashamed of it. Like they don't want people to notice that they use CGI for this part or something.
yeah, yeah. I feel like they're trying to do like a more traditional approach.
I think
That's
this
yeah.
may also be part where Japan will be more likely to do a smaller budget CGI film
Hmm.
for anime,
Yeah.
just because anime is more accepted there. Whereas in here we're pretty much only getting the big stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I mean that's the only thing that explains the budget, I guess.
yeah. But I'm actually glad that it's slowly starting to, blend into our culture. Like I would say, like few years back, they didn't even think about making any anime related things. It was like recently that they just started to do these stuff. Like I think,
Live actions,
yeah, yeah.
or do you mean here or in Japan?
Yeah, here. Because I know Japan's been doing it like for a while,
Yeah.
and here I can't recall anything before Ghost in the Shell that they made a live action for. I'm trying to think. No, maybe I
Hmm.
can't say Avatar, like not the Avatar Airbender or whatever. I haven't seen it, but maybe that.
Oh, they did like Dragon Ball one.
Oh, and then they failed so miserably that I think that was just like, they're like, nah, let's not do it. We're not gonna do it.
Maybe that scarred everyone forever. They're just
Probably,
like,
yeah.
okay, we can't do live actions of anime, you guys. It's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna work.
Yeah. Man, that's yeah. Shoot.
I
Probably
think that might be the first one. Yeah.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's pretty much why they're they didn't do it. Which I think they should like redo the Dragon Ball thing, but just because they have more knowledge and technology than before.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they did like a Superman approach, like the Man of Steel approach to the Dragon Ball, I think they would do like a great job, like
Yeah,
crashing.
absolutely. I mean, ki- they've got a lot of similar story beats there.
Yeah, it's just they have to really focus on how they're gonna do the key beams, like the Kamehameha and stuff like that. Try to make it as close to realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of technology, we definitely have it. Yeah, and then there's some. I don't know what they did. Have you seen the well, I guess it doesn't matter which one. It's called Blade of the Immortal.
Oh, the Takeshi Miike film?
Yeah, yeah,
That's the guy oh, that's the one about the like samurais who can't die and they like just
yeah,
kind of kill people for no reason.
yeah, yeah. It's like what did he have? He had like some parasite that keeps um, fixing his body or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, um, yeah. Have you seen it?
I did see it. I can't remember it that well though.
Oh, yeah. So,
But I do remember it was like pretty over the top and it was pretty good.
mhm. um, so for the anime, it's amazing anime and manga for sure.
Yeah.
And the live action, it was good, but obviously you're gonna see like the whole Japanese weird traditional thing going, but in terms of acting, I think the actor they picked for the main character wasn't great. What happened was they made an actor that had such a huge, I want to say like ego, or the acting he does was just like pretty much the same, that when he tried to act as that main character, you would see the actor, instead of
Hmm. Yeah.
the main character. Like his presence was more bigger, and I think that's one of the live actions that you kind of um, what's it called? You watch it for the actor more than the anime. Well, I guess it would be like close to 50-50. It'd be like a 60-40 or something. But
I remember the adaptation actually being fairly good, so
yeah, yeah, they
I
they
mean,
yeah. I
I guess you
mean,
still have to like the actor though.
no, yeah. This is in terms of like a Japanese person. Like I know the actor Kimura Takuya.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like known for his like douchey. It's pretty much like Brad Pitt of Japan.
Yeah.
And then they just like threw him in like this role of a samurai, the main character. But you just, if you're Japanese, you know that he wouldn't do that type of acting, but for some reason he's doing it. So it kind of sticks to your mind or the back of your head while you're watching it. It's a good film, yeah, but definitely see that. And I'm pretty sure if you're not Japanese, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah,
Yeah, it's not exactly the most popular property.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I guess it's preference. I can't really give like a review for something because everyone has like their own way of thinking or what they're expecting, like the expectation and everything. So yeah, uh, that's why I try to go away from reviewing stuff. You know, like I don't know if you searched other anime podcasts, but all they do is just review on like the latest episodes of anime. And I guess that's what everyone likes to hear. Like to me, I don't understand that concept where it's like you've seen the latest anime episode and you're just tuning into a podcast to listen to someone else's reaction to it. It's just like it doesn't. I don't understand it.
Mm.
But I feel like that's the direction that everyone wants to go. I guess it's because people wants to know what other people think, which is pretty much like the same way they're thinking. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the point of that? You know, are you just confirming how you feel? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that way sometimes. I feel like people read reviews just to like see who agrees with them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and just so they feel righteous about what they like and dislike, I guess. I don't know. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
But I definitely understand why a podcast would go towards that kind of formula. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like it's an easy way to always have something to talk about every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard to come up with a new topic every week, and
Yeah.
that way you pretty much don't have to do any work. You just watch the episode and then just kind of let loose about how you felt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real easy for podcasters, uh, and also since that's what everyone else is seeking, it's like getting viewers or viewer counts. It's a lot easier. That's why we're better. We're better than that. Fuck those motherfuckers. If we wanted viewers, we'd probably do the same thing. But nah, not this one. Yeah. Shoot. Well, yeah. That pretty much covers my list for live actions. Unless you have something more.
I had Gintama.
Mm.
I know we covered that last week, but I thought the cast actually looks really good in that show. It's like I never really expected it
Mm.
because they're kind of just like really odd looking characters, and it's kind of
It stands
weird to
out.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, for the anime, they have such a different or like a unique look to it that you could pretty much throw in an actor or actress, and as long as they complete that tool or the look or the iconic look or signature look, and then it's spot on. Like just for example, what was his name, Yuichi or something, the glasses, the the samurai kid or whatever.
shoot, what was his name? I don't think it was Yuichi.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you know who I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
as long as he completes that outfit and the glasses, you could see, even if it's in the live action, they don't have to introduce that character. It's like you know who that is just because you watch the anime.
that's true. Everyone in the show or the original definitely has very distinct looking character
Yeah, yeah.
types. Except maybe like the Shinsengumi, but we're kind of there.
Yeah, but even in the Shinsengumi, the personalities are so big, right?
Yeah,
Like I don't know if they call. I haven't seen that live action, so I'm guessing that they have like Hijikata and
yeah. Hijikata, Kondo. It's a like shorter dude, brown hair, short hair guy.
yeah, the sadistic kid guy.
Yeah,
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 yeah. But yeah, you see that they have like this huge personality that if they just the live action, if they just touch up on that, then
yeah.
they complete that character's role. So yeah, Gintama is kind of different, but I'm pretty sure they did a good job if they if they did that.
Yeah, they went over the top on acting like everyone looks like fairly ridiculous in some scene or another.
Hmm.
And they had some, some of the meta gags that they do for like the anime. And perfect. That's all you need.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Which I should be watching or checking that out too. Yep. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, I know I didn't ask you to do this, but so the original like intent of this podcast was to help people, like new people, in like if you were to start like an anime or watch anime or read a manga, if you just Google the top 10, some of the stuff that we talk about doesn't show up. Like for example, what I wanted to cover today was manga, anime, in the horror genre that they have. For example, if you Google horror anime or horror manga, they'll give you the top 10 of what everyone is reading or watching, and then not the gems. The hidden gems is what I'm trying to um, help everyone or the podcaster. So going into the topic for the horror um, anime, I wanted to talk about the Japanese myths or legends, creatures. For the very first, I would say horror anime is Gegege no Kitaro. Do you know that?
I have heard of that one. I haven't watched it though.
Yeah. So there's the 2018. There's the remake of it that they did last year, but I'm talking about the 1996 one. So this anime talks. They talk about the myths of Japan. So Japan has different types of culture and everything, and one of the cultures is uh, these spirits or creatures that live in Japan. Whether it's true or not, it's a legend or myth, so you can't really tell. But the ones that you see in the film, there's an iconic one called Nurikabe, which is a ghost that's a wall. And yeah, as weird as it seems, there was legends of it, and it's pretty interesting that the role it takes is just like a wall, and it keeps moving around and traps you, so you're like stuck in a maze and you get lost. And in terms of horror, it's kind of scary to get lost. So there's like a whole bunch of different creatures or spirits. I would say like maybe like another example would be itamomen, which is like a floating paper. And what it does is it teams up with the nurikame, which is the wall, and when they get lost and they get hopeless, it comes and strangles you, and you suffocate and die, which is scary. But Gegege no Kitaro, I would say, is the OG of horror movies, or not movies, anime. Well, there is a movie too, but for anime, I haven't read the manga, but the anime is awesome. Like, it's really family friendly. There are some scary scenes, but it's not to the point where you get nightmares. And I want the the podcast view, or not viewers, the listeners to, if you want to start on a horror genre, definitely check out Gegege no Kitaro. I believe that was the very first horror film, and it's really good on lores, on the horror lores that they touch up on. So you kind of go with the Japanese culture as well. And yeah, it doesn't come up, or actually it's like on the fifth or sixth one that comes up when you type in horror anime. But I don't think that's something that as a new viewer you would recognize or notice. So, not trying to be like a hipster or anything like that, but in terms of starting new, or if you like a horror genre, definitely give Gege no Kitaro a try. It's amazing. It's like the starting point for the other horror films. So, Tim, you said that you heard of it, but you haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's great. I, I think the old adaptation, or not the adaptation, the old one, the 1996 one, is really good, but um, it's the new one, the one that they made last year. It's more geared towards the new generation, so there's a lot more combat and stuff like that. Oh shoot, I forgot to give you like the general plot of the anime. So it's like the main character's name is Kitaro, like in the title, Kitaro. And for those of you who's wondering what gegege means, there is no meaning. It's just like a like a catchy phrase. But
It's onomatopoeia, right?
is it? Oh shoot, I thought it was just like a catchy phrase.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. So the whole thing is this kid that could see. I forget if he's dead already or not, but he is a kid that could converse and tame these spirits and legends or myths. And the goal is for the good spirits and, well, his friends and group to go and stop these bad spirits. There's there's the good side trying to prevent the bad side from doing bad stuff. It has that. And yeah, that's pretty much how the anime goes. And then there's like the final boss and stuff like that, in which they, you know, just somehow try to overcome. So I think in terms of horror, you should definitely start with Gegege no Kitaro. Um, try the old one first, and then if you don't like that, maybe the 2018 one. I haven't seen the 2018 one, but looking at the art style, it doesn't look too appealing to me. I'm an old schooler, so yeah, that started the whole trend of that type of stuff. I would say if you go more indie wise, it would go to this like a yeah, like an indie film called Yasume Yujincho. Have you heard of that one, Tim?
That's me.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
Wait,
Oh yeah,
did you say Yatsume?
yeah, Yatsume Yujincho.
Okay. I don't. Wait, is it
It's
Yatsume? I thought it was. Isn't there a show called like Natsume with?
is it Natsume or
Okay, I don't know.
okay? Well,
I don't know what
it's
you're talking about.
it's the one where the guy comes across like a book that has the spirit's name and something, and the whole goal is to what is it? I like a catch and note all the. Oh no! It's a book of names of the spirits, and what he does is to uh, give those spirits back their names, because once they get their names back, they
Oh, they become peaceful,
yeah,
right?
they become peaceful, and then they go to the afterlife or something like that.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I have
Yeah,
seen this.
yeah, and then his partner is like a cat, like a fat cat that could transform into like a crazy, not dragon, but like a tiger, I think. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's like pretty much, I wouldn't say copying, but like branching off of Vigege no Kitaro. Wow, I can't believe I said Yasume or Yatsume. It's
Yes,
Natsume. Yeah, it's not. Sorry, it's an
like
N.
resting.
Yeah, yeah. um, yeah, and that's really good in terms of like the art style is really, I'd say like kind of faded. It's like close to like the josei type of art style. Um, to be honest, I think the anime is kind of, it gets repetitive, but that's how it is. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, I remember it being like fairly kid friendly when I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Yeah,
mean, I think that might be why it's repetitive.
yeah, yeah. But that's the whole point of like the anime, and it's to find the bad guys and look for the name or how he figures out their name and gives it back to them. So yeah, it's fairly easy to understand and easy to get into. That's one horror. I wouldn't say horror film, but it touches up on the legends and stuff like that. The yokai is what it's called in Japanese. Yeah. So from that, you could even branch off to like an action type. There's one called Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan. This one's more, yeah, like I said, action based. It's like going more towards like a group, like a yakuza, where there's like different groups of spirits or yokai clans, and then they battle each other to see which clan is better. And once that winning clan defeats, whoever the loser is, that loser clan has to join the winning clan. And in the end, I'm pretty sure the main character's clan you know, gets or becomes number one. But yeah, in terms of the anime, the action, I think it's pretty cool. Have you seen it before, Tim?
I haven't seen that one actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's new to me.
Yeah, check out like the first 2 or 3 episodes and maybe see if you like it.
All right.
Personally, they have arcs too, but I kind of stopped after the first arc because that was the most recent one. But there's more. There's like season 2 and 3, I think. So for the listeners, if you're looking more for like an action base, like a shonen type anime, but still touches up on that yokai horror type of animation, definitely give that a try. I don't even think this shows up on the top horror search on Google. So yeah, just showing you guys the gems that's hidden. Um, well, obviously it's kind of hard for me to um, or it's hard for Tim to jump in because I'm doing this like without
Yeah.
discussing it with him. So this time, it's kind of like one-sided for me to be talking a lot. I'm pretty sure there's people who wants to listen to Tim talk too, but yeah, just for today, this is gonna be tried like a refresh on the podcast and what I'm trying to go with. So yeah, so continuing on. I'm pretty sure you heard of this one, Tim. It's called Shaman King.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shaman King is really iconic. It's like a battle. I think it was like a battle royale type of system where I think the winner gets like a wish or something. I forgot
Yeah,
like what it was.
it's
Yeah.
just kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh, but you get spirits.
Yeah, yeah. So the spirits are like the old. There's some that's not Japanese. I think this film just covers up the whole entire world. So they cover like the spirits of that country that they represent. And one of the main characters is I forgot the name of the spirit, but it's like an old Japanese samurai spirit. You know, it still covers that yokai terms, and it's not really a horror, though they do have the um, the myths or the yokais in there, but it's more action based and definitely an anime that I recommend as well. Um, yeah, have you seen the whole series, Tim?
I didn't watch all of it. I saw bits and pieces because I think they had it on Toonami for a little
Oh
bit.
shoot, okay.
So actually, it's been put into American culture in some way. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yes, but the problem is it just got flushed out with like all the old anime, so it's not really
yeah,
well known. Um, yeah, it's called Shaman King. I recommend it because there was a game for it as well, like a fighting game, and in that game was I was on that shit. So, um, yeah, give that a try. It's an action genre, and um, going on if you want more of like a comedic, etchy type horror film, I think Kekkaishi does it really well. Have you heard of it, Tim?
is that the like spirit master? They like fight and stuff, right?
Mm, yeah, I think so. I just couldn't handle the like past the second episode, but it was too like comedic for me, or like they had a different type of comedy in it. So the main character, he has like the annoying main character type personality and voice, but the partner, the friend, is like a really big boob chick that does like the spirit extermination type of thing. Um, it's kind of like the blue. Fuck, what am I trying to think of?
Exorcist.
Yeah, the blue exorcist, but instead of devils and demons, it's spirits. And to be honest, I don't really Well, I don't. I didn't touch up on the blue exorcist because it's if you search it up, it's there. It's easy to look up and see what kind of. Maybe I will cover it next time, but for now, I'm trying to do the lore or the yokai type of anime. So I think this one, Tim, you're gonna like it really, really, or a lot. It's really old school. It's called Hell Teacher Nube. Never heard of it.
I remember seeing the title, but
It's
I don't think I've ever watched it.
I recommend the manga version. So it's pretty much like a slice of life, like a GTO type uh anime or manga. It's a teacher, like in the title says, that has like a demon's hand, and then he goes and like solves. I would say it's yeah, like a life stuff, but with a more uh, different horror approach. This is kind of the borderline of covering like a spirit legend or myths, yokai type of stuff, but his claw itself is like a yokai's claw that he happens to inherit or something like that. But it's a really interesting film. It's really old, and I know Tim likes these old school type stuff, so you should give it a read or go, Tim.
All right. I like GTO, so that's gonna be a good for me.
Yeah, yeah. So there's like different types of horror that you could mix in the genres. Um, there's another one called this one I haven't seen. It's called Gugure Kokuri-san. Apparently, it's a comedy slice of life. It's I think I believe I read that it was about a doll that had it's a spirited doll and it's supposed to be really funny, but yeah, if you're trying to look for like a short comedy film, I think it looks cool. I mean, I haven't seen it. It's just like a if you Google it, the title page, there's like a crow, which is a Japanese yokai of a. The name is a tengu. A tengu is like shoot, I forgot what they exactly do, but it's pretty much like a crow person. They have a form of a human, but they're crows, and then they wear like these weird traditional outfits. Uh, but yeah, they touch up on the yokai stuff, and yeah, it seems like a real funny film. So I definitely got to check that out. But so this last one, I'm pretty sure there's like different types of genres, but this one is a shoujo. Got to cover, everyone. The listener might be a chick too. Shoujo slice of life. It's called Kamisama Kiss. It's as the title says. I haven't read it, but they do like a shoujo type approach to it. It's a manga. I don't know if there's an anime for it, but uh, yeah. So they do like a shoujo type thing. This is like a low life, not a low life, but someone that's kind of struggling with their current life, or I mean, a girl that has like a weird gambling addiction, I think, and then she's like in debt, and it turns out that she becomes like a god or something, and as a shoujo theme goes, falls in love with another god, and it's like a slice of life thing. I haven't read it, like I said, so I don't know. Give it a try. I'll give it a try. Why not? But yeah, that's the whole horror genre that I wanted to showcase or let you guys in on, so that like these hidden gems. Yeah. Tim, did you realize that there's a lot of gems that's out there. I don't know, like your inventory of what you've seen and stuff like that you don't see anymore. It doesn't have to be horror, but do you see that? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, there's a lot of films that's
By
just
you don't see anymore, do you mean um
it's not
like
like
shows or manga that you don't see being recommended anymore?
yeah, because the era and time. Like, I feel like it's better to like recycle and go back to certain things.
Yeah, there were definitely some.
Yeah, yeah. There are some that's like has like a remake. Like Battle Angel, Alita, and stuff like that is a real good
Yeah,
example.
but there's definitely some that we kind of like left behind and
Hmm.
they kind of like stayed in history.
Yeah, because it's just way too long, and at that time it wasn't recognized. It was more like, okay, we're gonna show this anime, and that's it for this year, or like this era. So they never really reintroduced it. Like, even I would say even Full Metal Alchemist would be in that same category where it's really big and all, but it's starting to fade away. And in terms of people who's trying to watch different types of anime, um, they kind of Google it or try to ask other friends, and then it kind of gets left out. I think that's what I believe.
Yeah, anime watchers are definitely in kind of a unique position where there's actually not that much material that comes out. Where, like, if you want to see more of one type of show, you're probably gonna have to go back and watch older shows.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, that's like the only reason why you would go back, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying, I'm just trying to reintroduce to those old memorable stuff. Like everything that I gave, like all the titles and stuff, they're really old.
yeah.
Like there's some that's like kind of recent. It depends on your definition of recent, but it's close to like maybe the newest out of all of them is like 2003 or 4 maybe. I don't know. Like it's kind of old and forgotten. Um, yeah, I think in terms of obviously there's the era of what how it is like the generations moving on, and we kind of like forget about the roots, you know.
Yeah, I don't know like what kind of works you skipped over when you like made your list,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I feel like there's definitely some older stuff that definitely stuck around. Like I feel like Junji Ito kind of still is around and people still talk about him.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, the even the writers and artists kind of have to adapt to how the generations are. So they
Yeah.
do have like their new um, stuff that's out, but I don't know how much of a fan you are to follow his work and search his work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just in terms of inventory or what or um how would I say this? Like to have a more variety and option. Um yeah, I wanted to dig up these old ones, these old good ones that I think maybe or may not be good, or I've seen that I wanted to share.
Yeah, definitely. Because definitely there are some works that really haven't been able to be replicated again.
Mm-hmm.
Like definitely Junji Ito has a certain style where it's kind of like there's nothing really like outright scary about it. He's just kind of like quietly scary. Like I don't know if you read, it's called em Emigara Fault, I think. Have you seen that one?
It rings a bell. Can you um, give like a short summary or plot?
So basically there's I think they were doing some sort of construction or some sort of dig, and they like uncovered a bunch of like holes in the side of a mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and each hole there's like tons of them, like just littering the entire side of the mountain, and you see people, you see that they're all shaped like humans.
Oh
And
man.
so people like come from all over to like see this like bizarre like mountainside, and people start to like figure out that actually like some of these kind of feel like they cater to like one person.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these people are kind of feeling like they have this one hole that they're kind of like drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no like real monster to it, but this idea of just like kind of crawling into this like human shaped hole. I'm when I say human shaped, I mean like it's shaped like your silhouette when you're like looking like forward, like if you
Mm-hmm.
were staring in a mirror.
Yeah.
So this idea of just kind of being like drawn into this hole that you probably can't get back out of, and you're just like barely have any room to move around in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna say anything more about that. If that's compelling, then definitely look that up.
Yeah, that
Oh,
sounds really scary. It's like one of those horrors that kind of creeps up on you.
yeah.
Yeah, and it just builds up. It's crazy.
Oh, it's called The Enigma of Amigara Fault.
Yeah, yeah. Give it a try, and I'll look that up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of his style, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if anybody else has really mastered that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely all these unique type of styles. Um, d- there's one called Darling and the Frankenstein or Fran or something like that.
Frank's, yeah.
Yeah, that one is kind of weird. It has its weird, but I feel like that one's kind of recent. And I can't I can't
It's
tell.
like last 10 years, right?
I think so. Mm, let's see. Well, it got animated last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, wait. This is something else. This is the weird.
Oh, the mecha one, huh?
Yeah, the mecha one. I'm talking about the Frankenstein one where it's like a doc. There's a Frankenstein doctor. Shit. Oh, this is bad. Um. So, shit. I gotta. Well, while I'm searching, and Tim, I appreciate it if you search it too. It's like a horror film. It's kind of like the Black Mirror, if anyone knows like the Netflix adaptation, where there's like a different, like a whole bunch of different kind of situations, and what the Frankenstein or the main character is like a Frankenstein that's kind of like too pure-hearted. That like for one of the like an example, there's be like like people who will go to her to get help. For example, there's one where this fat boy goes to her and says, "I want this girl that I love that got into like a car accident to be able to survive, and like, can you help her survive? Like these injuries that no other doctor would be able to fix." So she fixes her, but what she does is she transforms that chick into like a cocoon or like an insect. So she's like regenerating in this cocoon, and then when she comes out, she's like a human, and she thanks the the dude for bringing her to the doctor. But the weird thing is when she falls in love with them and when they have like sex or whatever, she turns into like a praying mantis where after you have sex, she starts to eat him. And it's just like, for the doctor Frankenstein, she's like, well, I fixed her and that was the request. I have no obligation of what's going to happen after that. Like, she has such a pure heart where it's like, I have done what you've asked, but there's a consequence behind it. And then they have like that whole horror theme to it. It's kind of grotesque, and I wouldn't recommend it to the faint-hearted, but I'm pretty sure it's recent. I'm trying to think. Did you ever find the title, Tim?
I'm searching, but pretty much the only ones that come up are the mecha one.
Uh,
I did find this. It's called Frankenfran. I don't know if
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah. I think it's that one.
okay.
Frankenfran.
She's kind of like a Frankenstein girl created by a famous doctor,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one, that one.
but he like went away and she is the one who had to like do these cases for him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, thank you. The manga, they only have a manga, I think. Yeah, yeah. No, there is anime. Okay, but the manga is really good. I read it and it's just weird. It has this weird um like horror to it. It has like a twist. Um, yeah, I guess it's kind of recent. The most recent one is in 2012, so but it's still old. And
Mm.
like we just did, you got to search for it. You have to be able to have someone that knows the idea, or like me, like I didn't know what it was called, but
Yeah.
like there was that concept, and I don't think anyone would be able to approach that type of uh, I don't know, like anime or manga just like that. It's like, I wish there was some sort of manga that has to do with Frankenstein. Like you wouldn't think like that, right? Like, or maybe you're just try to like Google Frankenstein anime or Frankenstein manga, and and I didn't. To be honest, I Googled it like that, and then nothing showed up like that.
Same. I dug through.
Yeah, you really had to dig through, and in terms of someone that doesn't have any idea of like like those types of search and like what there are out there, um this podcast is gonna try to cover those type of stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of searching on our end, but gonna be more beneficial for the listeners, viewers. So that's the approach I'm trying to do. So yeah, I guess it's like a refresh. Now that I told Tim, it's more homework for him, but yeah, well, we're gonna try to do that type of approach. But yeah, Tim, you should read this Frankenfran. It's all like short and different each
I
chapter.
really like the actual like premise, that the idea that like a brilliant doctor created this other robot to help him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he like left, and so she's still smart, but she doesn't really get humanity and language.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, actually. I do want to read this.
Yeah, yeah, and then the art style is really good too. It's kind of scary and weird, but if you're into horrors, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's weird. It's really weird. But it sticks to like I haven't read this in so long, but there's like all these weird themes that they have. It just like sticks to you. Like I just wanted to share another one where the it started off with one person that wanted to get plastic surgery, and what the doctor or the Frankenstein does is, does the requested plastic surgery, but soon, uh, as that person that got the plastic surgery becomes famous, everyone in the world is like, well, wait a minute. If you could get famous like that or beautiful, I could do it too for cheap. And then, so like the whole entire world goes to her and gets like plastic surgery to the point where everyone's pretty, but it's kind of like a grotesque pretty. Like the definition of beauty or pretty changes. Like um to the point where they become like aliens. Like it's not human anymore, their faces, their features, because they had so many plastic surgery. And it's crazy. It's just like a world of pretty, but no one knows what pretty means. It's really deep and it's crazy. It's really scary too. Um, yeah, not for. It's not family friendly. I'll tell you that. And for, it's weird how I came across this. I was just searching. Actually, yeah, I'm like a freaking crazy manga fan or something. Um, there's
It
like,
was actually like fairly big like 5 years ago.
mhm,
That's just kind of like the state of anime and manga is just like stuff really like cycles through that fast.
mhm. Like if you're downloading all these, I don't think you'll be able to find it. But if you search those freaking viruses sites now, like those manga sites that has like the whole series in that website, they'll you have to dig deep, but it's in there. Like they have their old series, like as a history that's in their inventory. Like just for like a good example would, no, actually I can't really say the website, but there are websites that you could just view it online. I wouldn't recommend it because you get viruses on your computer, so that's the nature of those websites. So um unfortunately I can't give the websites, but those websites have like a big like inventory, from old to the newest one. And what happens is once I finish reading all the mainstream ones, which is always going to be on the top, the front page, you go through the alphabetical order, like A through Z, and then the numbers or whatever. And then once you click on every tab, they'll give you the whole digest of that alphabet manga. And I went to the point where I was clicking on every single one of them and checking out different types of manga. And then yeah, the only reason why I was able to get to that manga is because I was just curious. And I don't think I'll be able to find any other recent, or not recent, manga like that. So major props to those types of websites. You know. Yeah, just sharing. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I definitely love how much we covered the yokai in
Mm-hmm.
this episode.
Yeah.
I've always had kind of a soft spot for like Asian folklore mythology.
Yeah. See, I believe that there's different types of people, like anime fans or lovers. Like, there's people who will read anime or manga, or yeah, manga for the culture of Japan, and not for the sake of, how do I say it, like a hobby, or not a
Yeah.
hobby, but like for entertainment, I guess. Well, I guess it'll still be entertainment. What I'm trying to say is there's different types of people who views these type of things in different ways.
Yeah, we all derive like different forms of entertainment from reading manga, and sometimes reading manga like fascinates me. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
interesting to see like different types of because when Japan makes like games and stuff, you'll see like really weird creatures, and sometimes you'll be like, oh, where did this guy comes from? And more often than not, it'll be a nurikabe, and it's
yeah.
a fake wall.
And then you're just like, wow, like Japan just gave up on creating new ideas and
Yeah,
stuff. But no, no,
but yeah,
it exists.
yeah, it's been there for thousands of years. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, there's definitely been a lot of yokai that's been in like games that get ported over.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Neo has like the Nurikabe, and like we've got games like Yokai Watch, where like it's all about collecting yokai.
oh yeah, I forgot to cover that one. Yeah, yeah.
My personal favorite is the umbrella with the like one leg and the eye.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what
yeah.
that one's called actually.
Um, yeah, it slipped through my head. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, that one's really iconic as well. Yeah, it's. I realize that there's a lot of people who likes those trivial type things where it's more informative as well. It's just not just an anime thing, but it touches the base of like the Japanese culture, and yeah, just people. There are a lot of people who loves culture, so yeah, it's amazing, and yeah, that's the direction we're gonna go with this podcast. So I guess I should say we're rebooting or restarting from 18, episode 18. Well, that's like good. That's a good one season, right? Season one.
Yeah, we're doing a live action reboot or something, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, and um, shoot, it depends on. I'm kind of worried on the take of it. There's people that'll say, no, well, what you're doing is still a review, but just to clarify, I'm not trying to do like a review on old stuff, I guess you could say. Like it might be a review, but I'm trying to get more of the old stuff to come back. In order to do that, I have to give you the basic summary of what it is and everything like that. So it might sound like a review. I'm not trying to make it too reviewy.
I don't think it's the same.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
not?
a
Okay.
review is like an in-depth look at like one or two things,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're doing kind of more like a
The
highlight.
broad, yeah, highlight, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of shit that I know, and I like searching these kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying to be helpful to everyone. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it'll be good for Tim as well, I think.
yeah. I don't know how many episodes of this we can do, but
There's a
sounds kind of
lot,
hard.
dude. Like there's different genres, and even in this horror type thingy, I only covered like the spirits or like the yokai stuff.
Mm.
There's like different stuff like we kind of touched the Frankenstein, the Frankenfran or whatever, but there's a lot. There's different types of what's it called, sub genre.
So yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's I guess call that for today, and gonna end it here. So thanks Tim for coming.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, and for everyone else, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, see you guys next podcast.